JonTron's StarCade, Episode 8. Everything else.
Sir, if you don't mind me asking, where did you get those apples?
Apple planet. Infinite apples. Over there.
Oh no.
Those are the inhabitants of the Apple Planet. Those are the Apple people, sir.
Oh, that is why they were screaming.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot together on this intergalactic journey through the games of Yester Light Year, and we've seen a lot too. But the fact remains, there are just too many Star Wars games out there to cover in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a few quick looks at some of the more interesting and notable games out there that may have been unassuming at first glance. If you remember, early on I covered Star Wars X-Wing, but did you know they also made a spiritual successor to that game? They didn't go in the direction you may have expected, though. This is Star Wars TIE Fighter. For the first time, you got to play as the bad guys.
Interesting.
That's badass, dude. I want to embrace my inner dark side. I want to look and feel the part. I want to go all the way. No, okay, this didn't work. I'm gonna take this off now. It's kind of.
Oh my god. Wow.
Like Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. If you played both X-Wing and TIE Fighter, you got to see both sides of the story. The combat and gameplay are pretty much the same as last time. The biggest difference is that everything is Empire themed. Right. Art and music this time around were pretty extraordinary too. Definitely felt like you were part of the Empire.
I have come with an offer for the rebellion.
We have little reason to trust you, Admiral Harkov.
Yes, especially because you've chosen to show up to today's meeting dressed as Count Dracula. Hey, come on, man.
Yeah.
Pay attention over here. This is a very serious meeting. You're getting a little too snuggly in your snuggie over there. What kind of fashion sense is this, anyways? What's coming back next? The Anakin Skywalker bowl haircut?
A boy can dream.
Let us show you the improvements we've made to the TIE Advance.
Yes, it does appear they can still bomb things sitting still. Most impressive.
Admiral Thrawn, I am promoting you to Grand Admiral for your obedient service to the Empire.
Do you?
Oh my god. It's so weird to see Thrawn in this. I am, especially in modern canon, because Star Wars has that split between Legends and canon, Thrawn is kind of that, like black hole in my understanding of the series, but a lot of people love Admiral Thrawn, especially in Legends, and it was really cool to see him come back into canon for a lot of people. I may lack the context, but this character's reputation definitely precedes him. There's definitely a reputation there with the Grand Admiral. Let's put it this way. I know more about Waru and the Anti-Force than I do about Thrawn. If that doesn't, that's going to hurt a very specific percentage of the Star Wars fan base. Like, that will actually cause emotional damage.
Know how hard it was to line up this meeting with a dark thunderstorm? I've been going to weather.com every day for like 2 weeks. I think the site gave me malware.
Next up, Star Wars Behind the Magic, an interactive CD-ROM that was developed to be an in-depth look behind the scenes at the original trilogy. It's cool. Got glossaries galore. For example, here's a page on weapons from the Star Wars universe. Weapons tests, huh? What's going on in there? Oh, hello, Mr. Stormtrooper. You're looking conspicuously in the center of attention. Oh, what are these?
I miss this kind of thing, actually, because this used to be, a lot of things had this. Like, pull out if you have the special Lord of the Rings extended editions on DVD. You know what I'm talking about, right? The ones with it was like the beige, the blue, and the red covers, right? How many bonus discs are with behind the scenes and the making of, right? And then you had old DVDs like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets. You had stuff like that had interactive little tidbits to them, and even internet connectivity with certain DVD players and stuff. I really do miss this. Like, I'm sure there's stuff that exists for, say, episode 7, 8, and 9, right? But it's not the same. It's not the same because this was a quality product, right? I would argue that the original Star Wars trilogy is a quality product. I'd argue the prequel trilogy is a quality product. It's a different story it was telling. It's the story of the political downfall of the Republic and the reorganization into the Galactic Empire. It's a different story, and so I love it. I've always loved the prequel trilogy. I think it's great. And You know, stuff like that, where there was pride in that work. And yeah, there was marketing side to it, like point in case. You're marketing a disc at this point, one of the jewel cases, which I miss so much. The little thing on the sides of the jewel case where you could run your nail up and down, it made the funny zzz noise. Oh, God. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I miss this. You don't see this kind of media anymore, in my opinion. You really don't. And it's a shame.
Ewok rock? Yeah, that's my favorite genre, too.
Yeah.
Ow! I thought it was just going to be an enjoyable concert with furry midgets! Holy crap! Wow, what educational value.
Amazing.
Well, they have a good point, you know? I mean, how else would you know if your weapons were functional? Hey, don't worry, dude. I just want to make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, yeah, we're good. It worked. Come on, get up. Quit being such a baby. Death Star Ray. Oh, my God, that's a bit overkill, isn't it?
Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, come on! What a cop-out!
They made me sit here and watch this poor man's quiet desperation. I'm watching him pray his final thoughts, and they wouldn't even give me the payload. Listen, I just wanted to see the guy blow up, okay?
Well, even with what was a single reactor, like the amount of devastation the Death Star could cause is just it can blow up planets, right? Like it wipes entire settlements just from existence. So like I get it. It's actually kind of tongue-in-cheek. I'm actually kind of a fan of it. This goes way too hard.
That's a crazy one. I just wanted to see his legs come off and his eyes come off.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff. Then we have Star Wars Demolition. This was LucasArts' take on the Twisted Metal vehicular gladiator formula. It's definitely one of the more oddball offerings. It's got one of those cool in-world menus that actually take place in a setting, like Conker's Bad Fur Day or something.
Oh, these went super hard back in the day, these interactive menus. Oh my God. No, we had things like Halo CE, Halo 2, and even Halo 3, right? Where it was a menu in itself, right? I would much prefer this over some like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023, Hulu-looking menus where everything's a box, and it just, I don't know, it aggravates me. I can't quite put my finger on it. The menus aggravate me. And don't even get me started on Modern Warfare 2's progression for just, oh, well, you have to unlock the Lockman 556 to unlock this attachment, and this attachment will unlock this. Bro, can we just get Halo Reach Armor Crushing Black, please? Like, even if you're not going full immersion like this, can we just get something like that makes sense, please?
I don't really know what it is you're laughing at, but okay, see you later then. You can pick from all sorts of different characters that have their own vehicle. Pretty much what you'd expect from a game like this, except it's Star Wars, which makes it automatically better.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't complain if they remade this for current times. It would work. But let's not beat around the bush, okay? We all know why we're here. It's to watch Boba Fett's little baby legs dangle around while you play the game. Here and there, to and fro. Boba's legs will surely go. Also, there's a Gungan chessboard level where there's just a bunch of Jar Jar Binks heads on giant stones. It's a bit of a Easter Island for your greatest Goonga fan, all right? You know who you are. Stand up. Don't stand up. Sit back down. And now, the one you've all been waiting for. Star Wars, Masters of the what's in a name, huh? This is one of the most universally panned Star Wars games in the universe. Ours and theirs, although I suppose they're technically the same. Don't worry about it. Personally, I don't get the hate behind this one. I think it's pretty awesome.
And kind of reminds me of Guys, actually. Like PS1 fighting game where Cloud, Tifa, and Sephiroth were playable, right? Was it Sephiroth? Yeah, it was Sephiroth. Like, I could see a modern interpretation of the Star Wars fighting game going very well. Remember, Force Unleashed had a fighting game. I don't play it at PvP mode. Like, I think it could go over quite well, personally. Then again, leading off of the previous game of, oh, I'd love to see a modern take of this. I don't know if I trust the modern AAA game industry to deliver that. Well, I guess I can't even say AAA anymore, because now we have quadruple A. Video games make me depressed sometimes.
A game in which you can make Luke Skywalker, not figuratively, but literally fight himself, is a game that's okay by me.
No, it's solid.
Luke Skywalker, when ready.
There's a decent spread of characters, but it seems that some are more overpowered than others.
Well, yeah.
These guys really must have partaken in some true resistance training to eat that many lightsabers to the face. Seems to follow similar rules to Tekken or something. So the lightsaber functions closer to a wiffle ball bat than a laser sword.
Yeah.
That's probably part of the reason this game was so poorly received. Is that really a fair fight? Come on, Han, didn't Chewie ever tell you not to bring a fist to a sword fight?
Well, it's the same reason why Nightmare with Soul Edge doesn't just absolutely just bisect his opponents, right? I mean, it's an implement with a hitbox that you use to register a hit on another player, whether that be you're using fisticuffs or you're using something like Soul Edge, or whether you're Voldo. You Voldo mains out there scare me. I want you to know that. I respect you, but you scare me. Kind of like jacket mains in Payday 2. Like, I respect you. I have immense respect, but you scare me. Like, it's for gameplay to function. If you wanted a laser experience, that's a different game entirely. And we even see games like Battlefront 2015, right? EA Battlefront 1, which I thought had actually like really competent lightsaber v lightsaber gameplay. Unironically, like it actually went kind of hard. And you have something like that just, you know, it still doesn't have that cutting power. There's not really been a game that it's been needed. And I think that's why Beat Saber has been so popular and likened to Star Wars in certain aspects, because you're cutting through the boxes and the notes.
You dumbass.
Relax, no problem. Darth Vader versus Thor.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa.
Well, just make sure you use protection then. Oof. While we're at it, how about a look at some of the more old-fashioned merchandise? This is what's known as the Millennium Falcon playset, a thing that literally...
I haven't seen this in years. I think at some point we ended up donating mine. Oh my god. I had this. I haven't seen this in probably 15 years. Oh my god, this was an experience.
Really only a crazy person would want. To use this thing, you basically just strap it onto your keyboard and rock Chewbacca and Han Solo back and forth like you're trying to jerk off a badger. When you push down on one of the characters, it pushes all the way through the device and hits a key on your keyboard. So effectively, you could play this with keys. So for example, if you wanted Chewbacca bound to the tilde key, right? Or tab, I guess, because on an FPS, tab is kind of a relevant key people push all the time, right? You could play it like that. It was a peripheral and a marketing thing to place on top of the keyboard to just hit keys. But this is entirely playable without it. It's so funny and interesting. Like this I miss products like this. So essentially, it's just a very complicated way to push buttons on your keyboard. Yeah. As for the software it comes with, if you could call it that, it's just like a Dragon's Lair type thing that uses footage from the real movies. Yeah. Very compelling.
Inventory item retrieved.
Yeah.
But what about...
I never said it was a good experience. Never said it was next level. It was an experience, is what I'm going to say.
You know, regular old merch, not bundled with software. What do they call that again? Oh, yeah, toys. Fancy yourself George Lucas as good guy? Yeah. How about George Lucas as bad guy? George Lucas as family. All hate, all fight. It's George Lucas's actual family as Star Wars characters. You can't make that up. There are some things in life that aren't meant to be questioned, just absorbed, admired, savored, and cherished. This is one of those things. You know you can't hold back your true feelings for me. But what about all you aspiring Jedi out there? What can you use to hone your skills? Well, the Star Wars Force Trainer, of course.
Wow.
Except you can't, because it doesn't work. Ever. But it does make you look like a total jack-off, so at least that's 1 point out of 10. What's this I've got here? The Death Star, right? Obvious. But what if I told you it's actually Darth Vader in hiding? Impossible, you say? Oh, but
there was a series of... God, that looks like a Gunpla manual almost. That's kind of wild. No, like there's a series of products like this across a couple franchises that had just transforming toys like this. It was kind of interesting.
But how wrong you are! I think you must have seen Lady Gaga on TV and just decided to go for it. Yeah. Han and Chewie to the rescue! Watch in awe, be amazed as Han Solo transforms into a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
And Chewie transforms into a pita bread sandwich.
And you push them together.
What?
Yeah, you put them together.
Oh, you gotta snap them together. There you go. Millennium Falcon. There it is. And so, here we are. We've seen pretty much everything there is to see. I guess we're done. Right?
Oh, no. Yeah, maybe. What?
You didn't think I'd forget, did you? We've been spending a lot of time looking at the worst and weirdest, but I'll never forget the times I had with some of the greatest Star Wars games. Nay, games I've ever played. Things like Star Wars Battlefront, Knights of the Old Republic, Rogue Squadron, and even Lego Star Wars. Yeah. But that's what we all love about the brand, isn't it? That's why I was able to sit here and endlessly talk on and on about this magical franchise. At the end of the day, Star Wars is an open book. There's so much fun to be had in the universe and so many depths to plunge. The ride doesn't end with Episode 6. It lives on and on, spread across the universe in the hearts of many. It's more than a film, a game, or a book. It's a goddamn phenomenon.
Yeah.
Sir, you forgot this. It's starring me. Am I cool now? Can I be on YouTube Rewind?
Huh.
Oh, wow.
Look at this. Star Wars droids? I never heard of this. All right. One last game for you, 3PO. This tune, of course. This was played beside some of the most memorable of scenes. Yeah. This game is weird and old. Never a good combo.
No.
To control C-3PO, you have to actually move your cursor manually over to one of the panels on the bottom of the screen and then hit your action button.
I mean, weird and old. I mean, people can say that about Kingsfield. Like, a lot of people got into Souls with Dark Souls 1 and then Dark Souls 2 subsequently, Souls 3 and Bloodborne, right? And into Elden Ring. But, like, there are very few people that were there with Demon Souls, and even less so that were there with Kingsfield, if you know what that is. If you haven't, Iron Pineapple's got some good Kingsfield videos. So, no, like, old and weird can kind of be an interesting mix, if you will. But sometimes old and weird is kind of that god combo, if you will. It's really such a mixed bag. Like, when you're so far outside the box that, especially being, you know, older games and the limitations that they had, it's wild.
So you can't just go right and shoot one of your yellow diamonds to dispose of enemies. You have to select the move button, get in place, stop, select the shoot button, and then shoot. Talk about tedium, even for the era. And then there are these weird Simon Says panels. Oh, what fun. You know a game's getting good when one of the main puzzles is Simon fucking Says.
Exactly.
A game you can literally buy for your keychain.
Shit.
Perhaps they were trying to emulate Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yeah, wrong space movie with aliens, guys. The one you were looking for was clearly Alf.
Laxative on a rope. Melmacian hiccups. The cat won't fit in the toaster.
Who is winning these encounters between me and the enemies? There is no clear winner in droids. Only chaos.
Yes.
Whoa, good thing C-3PO's all ripe and oiled up, huh? He bent his head down a whole 2 inches. This move comes in very handy on the Jerusalem level where C-3PO has to bow to the Western Wall.
Awful.
After you grind through these enemies, and I do mean grind, you get to these weird computer things near a door. I don't understand how anything in this game works. What is this, the robot TSA? Is he about to feel my junk and make sure I don't take any thermal detonators aboard the starship? I see how it is. So you're gonna profile me because I'm a droid, huh? Because I'm bright, shiny yellow? You know, sometimes I pine for the days before the Death Star exploded. They even used to have a lightsaber section. This game is so bad. C-3PO and R2 just stay in the center of the screen the whole time and move with the 2 frames they were graced with. I'm done, 3PO. I can't even do this for you.
I mean, when it comes to things being in the center of the screen, that's actually a popular game design thing. Where, for example, there are certain Mario and Pokemon games, I think most of them actually, you will always be at the center of the screen. You understand where your character will be, and the world just kind of moves in relation to you. Like, in game design, that's absolutely something to consider. Something like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time we've been going through recently, right? Is Link not always at the center of the screen? Right? Like, this is absolutely a thing to consider in game design, balancing, movement, etc. And in this, though, this is really a puzzle game with extra steps, and the extra steps being the movement keys and stuff. Definitely strange. Maybe someone out there probably has it as their absolute cult classic extraordinaire, but I don't see it.
This box art looks familiar, though. Where have I seen it before?
Oh no, Master John, you mustn't ask.
What do you mean? Where's it from?
It's been buried. My capacitors go faint, even to think of it. There's only one man left in the galaxy that knows its whereabouts. I'm talking, of course, about the most dreadful piece of Star Wars content in the entire galaxy.
Oh, no.
Okay, have you seen some of the stuff I've been sitting here playing? I'll believe that when I see it with my own eyes.
It's not an interactive piece of software, Master John. It's much, much worse.
Yeah, I think I know where this is going. Lucas with a hammer, am I right? This was amazing. Like, I really miss this era of gaming. I miss a lot of this, honestly. And there really is a too much of a backlog of Star Wars to really cover everything, right? We didn't cover Force Unleashed. We didn't cover Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, like old Battlefront 1 and 2, you know. And honestly, that's kind of fair, right? Because this was really just kind of getting us caught up and get us immersed into the lesser points, or the lesser talked about points of Star Wars. Everybody has an opinion on Force Unleashed. Everyone has an opinion on Force Unleashed 2. Everyone has an opinion on Battlefront. Everyone has an opinion on Pod Racer, which we did cover. Everyone has an opinion on a lot of these more popular entries, right? Not everybody has heard about Star Wars droids. Not everybody has heard about Yoda stories, right? Not everyone even remembers the keyboard thing, right? Just keybinds with extra steps. And so this is actually a really good series to just kind of dive into, and to kind of just see all the retro Star Wars goodness and some of the badness as well. And I do like that this kind of falls in line with as far as I'm aware, wasn't George Lucas's original thing when we had Star Wars, and then which later got rebranded to Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, and then we had 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and there was supposed to be, I guess, a 7, 8, 9 at some point, and then before the Abeloth arc could get finished, it got sold over to Disney. Disney finished 7, 8, 9 to very mixed acclaim, and that's kind of where we sat. And it's just kind of with other media at this point, other stories and media. But it's been very interesting. We've had absolute bangers like, we've had Kenobi, that had a lot of cool stuff to it. A lot of people like Ahsoka. A lot of lore things have been dropped. But there's a part of me that does, miss older Star Wars, especially the secondary and tertiary canon, like things like Waru, things that are tertiary, like in RPG books, like the Now, things like Star Weirds and stuff that aren't. Maybe they've been reintroduced to canon, but the fact that there's a divide between Legends and canon at this point is just, it just seems inefficient personally. But I'm also not the one making billions and billions a year. So let's put it that way. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see just some of the old design philosophy, some of the old design logic, with some of these games and some of these things, and just see how things kind of ended up, and how really just we don't have a lot of Star Wars games anymore. I think, we have, Jedi Fallen Order, right? Jedi Outcast. And it's like, I don't know. It's just not the same. And it feels a little sterilized, but we'll see. So it's interesting to see how this has kind of mirrored the movies, or at the very least the original concept of the movies by Lucas, from what I have heard, going through 9 films, and now we have 9 films including the Disney editions. So it's very interesting to see that parallel, but especially because I can see it, that's going to be a wild conclusion. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you've played any of these. Let me know what your opinion on some of these secondary and tertiary canon is. Do you also, are you also curious where the Abeloth storyline would have gone? Because we never got, as far as I'm aware, a full conclusion. That she kind of disappeared into that Force Lake, right? And we ended up having the Disney acquisition soon after that. Let me know cool, interesting Star Wars facts that all that fun stuff. And I really do appreciate everyone that comes out and watches these. Definitely check out John if you haven't. Definitely go support the original material, and I'll see you all in the next one.